Yeah, it is. It says it's on air. We're looking good. Welcome to the Masjid Carpark podcast, episode XYZ. It's telling me it's on air. Okay, so Sheikh Khalid's in the other room trying to do something with the laptop, and he keeps telling me it's live now. So if I've been on here for a little while, we know it's live. I hope everybody's had a wonderful week. You said it's live on about 4 times while it was live. Just letting everybody know that. India, Pakistan. Is that why we're sitting across from each other? Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
You shot down 5 Rafael planes,
Well, that's what they claim, but
and then the planes were for sale on was it Pakistan's version of Gumtree? I don't know.
was it? Or parts or something?
Yeah, parts of the plane straight away.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, man.
Yeah.
How are you, Sheikh Khalid?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Khalid.
Yourself?
Alhamdulillah. What a big week it's been of everything.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Labour Party came back in with 86% of the votes or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Seats. What do you think?
Just some going to the.
No, what are you doing?
Sorry. Just the ads.
Where are you going?
I'm just getting to the
Has
live
that
chat.
podcast
Live
got
chat.
ads?
Huh?
Has that podcast got ads?
Yeah, yeah.
live? So you've been making on the sly. I've seen no profits, guys.
Yeah.
Maulana Khalid's kept all 3.4 cents.
Yeah. $70 we got in the 4 years of work.
Is that literally it?
Anyway, alhamdulillah. Yes, assalamu alaikum to everybody, and
Salam.
mashallah. Let me check the audio. Is it all good?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, it's good.
How's it going, mate? What's going on? How's it going, Cobber, as they would say in Launceston?
Yeah, the Pakistani brain's been hijacked, and the Indian brain's been hijacked by talk show hosts and
Yeah, but these talk show hosts are on another level. But have you seen that general that got sent to the Andaman Islands?
who?
So this is the guy that leaked a report on a way an attack could happen. So the Indian Secret Service or whatever, they did what the CIA does. This is how it's going to happen. And then, whoa, lo and behold, it happens like that.
Yeah.
Right? And so the general that leaked this raw document got sent to the Andaman Islands, which is like,
Oh, it's like Guantanamo.
he not locked up. He just got transferred.
Oh, okay.
It's like, someone from Melbourne getting transferred.
To Broome.
Broome's cool. I better be careful here.
To Sydney.
Somewhere else. I don't want
Yeah.
to say any names. I actually
Yeah.
love all the country towns. I've got a mate in Broadford at the moment, but that's a
Okay.
different story. So,
Walaikum salam, Hussam. Yeah, somebody joined.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. So basically, what's happened for those who not aware, those who are unaware, a terrorist attack happened. The Indians blamed it on Pakistanis groups, and the government sort of allowed it to
In
happen
Kashmir.
in Kashmir, in the Indian Kashmir, and then it's Kashmir is like claimed by Pakistan, but it's actually under Indian control. Like a small sliver of Kashmir is they call Free Kashmir, Azad Kashmir is in Pakistan.
No, I was reading the
But it's
history
only
of-
like contains like 5% Kashmiris
the
population.
history of Kashmir is quite interesting because when the split happened,
Partition
the partition from the British, they
partition
made
from India.
the British partition
After
the
but
countries.
yeah.
Right, so their plan, the way the British did it was that if there's a Hindu majority next to a Muslim majority, that became Pakistan, that became India.
Right.
If there's a Hindu majority next to a Hindu majority, like within the Pakistani side, that became part of India. And if there was a Muslim majority next to a Muslim majority, that became part of Pakistan. Now, the leaders of these little kingdoms back in the day,
The
fiefdoms, had to say-
princely
princely states had say in it. So Kashmir is Muslim majority. The prince was a Hindu, and he sided with India.
Right.
But a referendum was meant to happen back then
Yeah.
that has to decide. The referendum was to decide from the people which country they want to join.
Right.
And as of this person's, like I was reading about it, written in 2020,
Yeah.
that still hadn't happened. So this is where the contention is and where all those trouble starts, because the Kashmiris
And things there's a lot of water under,
referendum.
there's a lot of water under the bridge because a lot of
Yep.
Hindus have been relocated and
Massive
they're
amount.
expanding
That's
Kashmir,
correct.
and
It's basically
so it's-
Israeli settlements, but Hindu settlements in Kashmir.
yeah, so they want to like Hinduize it.
Yes.
But the thing is to go out and just start shooting, like whatever this terrorist group was, whoever they actually were.
But there's really a lot of contention as well whether they were Muslim Kashmiris or Muslims at all.
Yeah, and there's
So this is
a lot of conspiracy
this is why this
theories.
general
out.
got sent to whoop whoop.
Yeah, so this thing that happened because there's like you see the guy on the zip line. He's making the video. Underneath is like shooter shooting. He's smiling. He doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
He's on the zip line. He's like smiling the whole way. And underneath, you can hear the gunshots
He's so lucky.
going off. And then the people are like, you can see the shooters and
Yeah.
there's in they put circles around. All right, this happened. India said, well, this group is supported and encouraged by the Pakistani. And probably to a certain degree, it's probably true in the sense that because Pakistan has a claim on Kashmir, so they will always be encouraging groups, right, or turning a blind eye from groups that are for the Kashmiri.
Turning a blind eye is more likely than encouraging.
Yeah, well, this is statecraft, spycraft, all those sort of things are involved in this, military intelligence agencies and so forth. So we don't actually know. It's very murky and nobody knows. But anyway, those groups that do claim Kashmir, or they want to take Kashmir, but like at the barrel of the gun, like it doesn't even make sense from an Islamic perspective. Like if you go in and just start killing people in a park,
Innocent people,
yeah,
like guys are just having a picnic.
Yeah, exactly. Literally a picnic. That's a bit.
Doesn't matter who they are. They're innocents.
Yeah. So that's a bit nuts. So, but Pakistan said no, that's not from us. This is from your side and so forth.
Well, that's the whole theory behind it.
So then India said they use the intelligence because there's intelligence spies on both sides in both countries from each other. They're next to each other. They look the same. So they, you can blend in. You can find a Pakistani that looks very Indian. You can looks very Pakistani. Yeah. So they blended in, and they've got the intelligence, and they said, okay, these sites, this group is affiliated with this. These people are affiliated with this group.
But how much
and this group these are their centers, their mosques, whatever. And so they did that. Pakistan retaliated as well with their missiles and whatever, and they had dogfights. Dogfights is not like World War II. They're shooting from 150 kilometers.
Yeah, that's right.
100 kilometers. So it's not really that heroic. And then in terms of like the appearance of, the media will give you the Pakistani Indian talk shows. They'll give you a heart attack. They'll give you a heart attack.
Fox News is bad.
Yeah. This is next level.
This is imagine all the desi emotion, all that curry, all that biryani, all that pulao.
It was full on. It was full on for a week, and then so basically they're firing at each other. Pakistan's weird because it claims victory.
There have been skirmishes.
Skirmishes. It's not really like it's like okay, like certain countries can claim victory. They fought a 10-year war, 3-year war, 2-year war. They fought like a month of battle. This was literally small skirmishes, and small dogfights and shooting rockets from 100 kilometers. So a lot of national pride has come out from both sides.
Yeah, but the national pride is gone to the level of it's almost like a joke now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know brothers, and they're like caricature of.
Oh, really?
Who are you? Because these brothers, you know them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I'm not part of any of this stuff.
No, it's not groups. It's like their statuses, and they're like.
Oh, okay. See,
it's
I don't even.
This is in both countries. I think so more so in Pakistan. There is a high level of patriotism, and our one is of course pumped with Islam as well.
Pakistan is so secular, man.
Huh?
It's so secular.
Well, there is a view from some countries, like some ulama from Afghanistan, and they've got a gripe, they've got a beef, and rightly so. They said, this is not even a fight for Islam or Muslims. This is a fight for land, and this is about politics between these two groups.
Oh, wow, really?
So Pakistani side and that side. So one of Salam Zaif, he said that. He's got a gripe. He's got a rightful gripe because he was. The Pakistani army sold him to the Americans and spent years in Guantanamo.
What?
Even though he was a diplomat, he was a deputy ambassador.
Immunity.
And he should have public immunity, but he was handed over by the Americans. He writes in the book. He wrote a book on this and explained that he said, "Don't waste your children."
He was
on
handed
this
by Pakistanis to Americans.
He spent years in Guantanamo. So of course he's saying, nah, this got nothing to do with it. And there was another mullah, he fought in the Soviet jihad, and very senior alim, white beard, he fought against the Soviets, and he fought against Americans as well. And he said the similar thing. He said, if it was about deen, what's next door, I mean, of course there's issues between Afghanistan, political and so forth. They said then 20 years, the bases and so forth in Pakistan will not be used against us. Yep. The only one that actually kind of, he was very strong worded in this is Imran Khan, who's in jail at the moment by the same.
I was actually thinking.
So it's ugly in that sense. So some people look at it from the outside. So there's different perspectives on this, and people might not appreciate what I'm saying. Some people might not appreciate it.
What I see
sorry, let me just say there's obviously a Pakistani patriotic side to this from the Pakistan perspective. Then there's the Imran Khan's people are split into sort of two. One are still sort of playing politics, saying like they don't trust the armed forces and so forth, and the other side said no. In this situation, we trust the armed forces, and because it's dealing with an external enemy, and our internal politics is our internal politics, right? So they kind of separate that. So the
cynical me says, how do I know that they haven't called each other across the border, going, hey, listen.
Yeah.
Each of us need to have a bit more power.
Yes.
We're losing power. We're losing our voters. We're losing and which was happening.
Yeah.
We're losing our support base or the respect that we have. Both sides.
Yeah.
Right. Modi on one side, Pakis on the other side. Right. Let's.
Pakistani. You can't say Pakis. It's like the N-word.
For the UK people listening, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Right. The Pakistanis on the other side.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because in all wars, who suffers? The innocent people.
There's a fog of war. There is definitely a fog of war here. Where actually we don't fully know what has happened to both sides.
Literally.
And it's like a lot of stuff is hidden. This side is saying we did this, and this side is saying we did this. And there's a lot of bravado, especially in the Pakistan. So there's a lot of bravado.
Putting parts of planes off for sale.
Yeah. So there is a lot of bravado, but it's like, I think it's too early. It's too early to tell, and it's too early to celebrate.
What does that say for the French jets?
Huh?
The Rafale.
And the Chinese one, which is the J10, which is like the Chengdu, whatever J10. The J10 is like the old model, which is about to be retired.
Wow.
Of their air thing, and that has just killed each of those Rafale. I think it was like $300 million. So if that's the case, 6 are shot down.
5.
But it was I think it was 6. But anyway, if they've shot that down, but it wasn't the J-10's normal missiles. The Chinese had equipped them with a further range missile, a 300-kilometer one. So they thought that they were going against like 150-kilometer, and their range, the Indian one was 200 kilometers. So it was actually not the jet. It was actually...
It's just they were further away.
It was just they couldn't get to it. That's all.
You can't throw the rock that
so
far.
it wasn't that amazing. Like, it just like our missile, just shooting
Ours
missiles.
just goes further.
Yeah. So anyway... Whatever it was, it's
size does matter.
So and the distance, that you lob the missiles does matter. So anyway, that's what happened. That's what went down. So nobody actually knows.
You're going to get shot down by heaps of Pakistanis.
Of course, the political spin is, and this is what I find strange. Like, we are very susceptible to propaganda.
But we've been trained.
No. I'm talking about Pakistanis, like specifically.
No, not just Pakistanis. It's everybody. It's just we feel like we're more susceptible because we're in it. You're part of it. You're in you're on all the WhatsApp group chats or whatever. So it's in our face. So it feels like we're more susceptible. But
I'm saying about the people over there. They're very susceptible.
Yeah, because what you see is what you believe.
Yeah.
Like in the West
and
now, Gaza has opened everyone's eyes.
Yeah.
This
is too early to tell. They're both nuclear powers.
Yeah.
This could get very ugly.
No.
And
I don't reckon anyone's going to press the bomb.
Yeah.
I don't reckon anyone's going to press the button.
It can escalate. But then Trump came and said he saved the day. He negotiated. He made the phone calls. You know.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Said what?
No, he said, he called them, he goes, can you guys, if you hear his explanation, you'll laugh.
Right,
he goes, they got a lot of nuclear weapons. And I tell him, guys, like, cut it out. That's what he did. That's what he said. Because cut it out, guys. Like, it's like kids fighting in a playground.
Because that's what they're going to listen to.
Yeah, guys, they're very strong, but like, cut it out. You know, like a lot of people get hurt. Yeah, we need to do business. You know, like that's what he said to them because we can't do business like this. If you want to have business, then you got to stop fighting. You know, like that's what he's claimed in his press conference. Huh?
No, not now. I'll have a look
Yeah,
at it
yeah.
later.
No, you'll laugh
I
at
don't
it
think
because
it's
it's
run out of
huh?
time. Actually, you should play it in the middle of this. When you don't edit anymore, do you? Because I'm very appropriate
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, he goes, I stopped the nuclear conflict. So let me just play it for you.
No one's gonna press the button, bro.
Huh?
No one's gonna press the
Yeah, but
button.
just his explanation of everything. He likes.
Play it loud near the microphone.
Full and immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons. And they were going at it hot and heavy, and it was seemingly not going to stop.
Hot and heavy.
I'm very proud to let you know that the leadership of India and Pakistan was unwavering, powerful, but unwavering in both cases. Having these, they really were, from the standpoint of having the strength and the wisdom and fortitude to fully know and to understand the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
And we helped a lot. And we helped also with trade. I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. People have never really used trade the way I used it.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's surprising.
So, yeah. So he's, yeah. He loves making deals and causing chaos. Yeah.
What's the chaos now with Trump? We're digressing, but
The
with
gifted
Israel,
plane.
What's happening?
Oh, it's weird because I think
He's losing APAC support.
yeah. And the reason is because the
Israel's
guy,
not
their
happy.
guy, the main guy, Waltz, they kicked him. He's been kicked to the curb, and the reason he's been moved around because he was like undermining. Apparently, he was undermining him. He was talking directly to Netanyahu. So this is the first good sign from in the top. Hope it could be smokes and mirrors and whatever, and just to make. And then he went to the Middle East, and he partied with Arabs, and
They gave him a plane.
one of them get $500 million luxury plane.
It's just
Which goes to Department of Justice. It goes to Department of Defense actually, because they take care of Air Force One. New Air Force One.
So these generals are partying on this plane now.
Yeah,
Think about it. If they gave the plane there,
yeah,
what's built into that plane?
yeah,
It's not just a normal plane,
yeah.
like anti-missile stuff, whatever.
Yeah, it's a $500 million plane. So it's gifted, and it's a gift to the American people. But I was just thinking, like, okay, we can look at the negative, look at the positive. One of the positive may be that, okay, APAC is buying influence, and Qatar has just bought a massive influence. And the president is praising the gift from Qatar to the American people. Like, just even saying that, and the Qatar is huge when it comes to
I love Qatar.
in terms of negotiating,
Have you ever been?
and because the Hamas leadership is there. Oh yeah, and that's another thing in the negotiation with Israel was cut out, was not part of the negotiation. Hamas was invited, Israel was not, with the Qataris and Saudis and others and so forth. So there's something thing when it's hard to tell. We don't know. It's like there's a war going on, and so Allah knows best. But it's
people
just
dying of starvation.
yeah, that's really bad.
It's
Yeah,
horrendous.
yeah, it's reaching breaking point, and so yeah.
Kids, bro. I can't.
It's amazing how much ego and self-interest is involved in this. No, with Trump, like is how much ego and how much self-interest, and he does, I think, care about American people. Like I think he,
No, I believe genuinely Trump cares about American people.
yeah,
but
and he
also
doesn't want to
cares
see
about
his people. Like,
business.
you see consistently, is said from like even the 80s. You see those videos of in the 80s. He goes, "No, we're getting like a bad deal. This is a bad deal we're getting." So actually, they've paused
Is it that he's got
the
no
tariff
idea?
war has been paused for 90 days. So China and them they come to an agreement. I think 30% tariffs on Chinese goods, and China said we'll do 10%. So it's a goodwill gesture. But psychologically, they said that China is much more stronger now,
Way stronger.
and they realized, okay, like how far we can push, and now they're gonna make, they're gonna have contingencies for this now. They already had. They've been preparing.
This is the
They
thing
said they
with
were preparing
Chinese.
4 years for this.
But this is the thing with Chinese. Every time
Mm.
you put sanctions on them, they're like, that's fine. You can't get it from there.
Not sanctions, tariffs.
I'm talking about before this.
Oh, okay, yeah,
When you put sanctions on them, we can't get it from there. We'll make our own.
yeah.
That's why the Chinese industry, from 0 to 100% of any product,
Yeah.
you can buy the raw materials. You can buy the materials in every
Yeah, they
step
made
of the
themselves
production line.
self-sufficient.
They're
Yeah,
self-sufficient.
manufacturing everything. Yeah. The only thing is, and even now they're finalizing. They're getting to that stage where they're doing their own
And they're making, they've made
silicon. What do you call it?
the wafers.
Semiconductors.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they've got to such a stage now with all these raw materials. He's making deals with Africa.
Yeah.
But they're not making deals with Africa where Africans lose.
Mm.
They're making deals with Africa where these African countries,
Yeah.
they're going in. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
These countries are benefiting from infrastructure, all of this. Let's see how win-win it is in 50, 100 years' time. But right now, what you see on the surface of it is win-win. It's not just looting these countries blind, robbing them blind.
Yeah.
So that I think that's the difference. But again, we go back to, I don't know, I take everything.
Yeah.
I'm
Can
very
both things
cynical.
be true? Pakistan has had policy with groups since the 1980s, but Kashmir has been occupied by India and rise of Hindutva in India. Pak needs to protect itself. Also, the timing of the Kashmir attack was during the vice president visit to India. Could it be a false flag?
It's a false flag. I personally think
Thoughts
it's a
on
false
elections? Also, Ed Husich being dropped from the cabinet. Okay, interesting. You know Ed Husich?
Flag. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a Muslim.
He was pro-Palestinian.
Yeah. And
Apparently.
so that's.
I don't
another-
know too much about
So
him.
kind of
though.
like.
I don't
yeah.
know too much about him or the
I
situation.
mean, he wasn't vocally Muslim, I guess you could say. Like he was just,
I think he's a union guy, very strong unionist.
yeah. So he
We need to do more research on Mr. Husik.
So,
Maybe we should get him in.
so when it comes to the Pakistan thing, yeah, it can be criticized. That's why I'm saying there's many perspectives in this. So one perspective is that, this is a very secularized army. Maybe rank and file, like the generals and so forth, you can criticize the way they've been behaving over the years. There's a what do you call them? The officer class. There's different layers to the military. And the average soldier. That's what Mullah Abdul Salam Zaifi was talking about when he was arrested. Like when he's taken by the American, taken to the airport to be handed over at the Air Force base or whatever, and the helicopter came or something, the plane to take him. And he said the guy that was opening, his soldier or whatever, that was opening the doors, and he had a beard, like he was a practicing guy. And when he opened, he like collapsed. He fell back because in shock he realized what he was doing because he's just a driver, he doesn't know. So he's taking and delivering this alim, Mujahid,
Wow.
and he's delivering it. This guy was in Soviet jihad as well and so forth. And he said, and he's delivering it to the Americans. Now he's got to spend years in Guantanamo, right? And he goes, he fainted or collapsed or something like that. He said, because then I realized, no, because it was one of the most painful things that my Muslim brothers are handing me over to the kuffar, And he's was a diplomat, so he should have diplomatic immunity, but he was treated like that. So from their perspective, they look at, and their Islam is more like in Afghanistan, without a doubt, from a Sharia perspective and so forth, and laws and everything is according to Sharia. So then the supposed Islamic government next door were the one that were helping,
Exactly.
thing. And then
And this is what
and
Imran
the
Khan
Pakistani
was-
defense minister
But
came
this
out
is what
here.
Imran Khan was very vocal about as well.
Yeah, never. We'll never use Pakistani soil
that's
to
right.
attack a neighbor.
Very vocal about it and very vocal about the fact
So
that
they've
how
got
many
their
Pakistanis died.
perspective. There's a conspiracy perspective. I want to say a conspiracy because
I'm always on the side of conspiracy
yeah.
theories.
So
It's more fun.
so that this was a false flag, as
Yep.
the Rumi mentioned, and then there's also that no, this is a Muslim country, and by hook or crook we have to support Muslims always. There's fatwas like that being given.
But
So
could you classify Pakistan?
Then
as
you've
a
got the
Muslim
perspective
country?
of the Muslims in India, which is kind of like mixed. So then there's got like Owaisi, who comes out very vehemently, condemning Pakistan, that they're terrorists. So he's a minister, I guess, or ex-minister. He's a minister currently.
It's a family.
Yes. So he came out very thing, and people call him for sort of the Pakistani perspective. They'll call him, and even non-Pakistanis will call him, he's a bootlicker for the Indian government.
He's actually not.
He's not.
He's far from it.
His credentials are
Far
very
from
solid.
it.
Yeah,
Far from
so
it.
he's not like that. But he's a believer that this is our country, and and people that attack, we should condemn the people
Yep.
that
So
condemn
he's
it.
not,
So
he's not. He doesn't see Pakistan as a Muslim country.
yeah.
And what has
for
Pakistan
for a
shown?
different reason, and Afghani
Yeah.
see it for a different reason.
That's
so
right.
it's
But
interesting.
again, it goes back to, I suppose, and I'm not saying this is correct, but what credentials does Pakistan have to say it's a Muslim country?
Just numbers, I guess, population of Muslims. I mean, a lot of institutions are there.
But there's a lot of institutions in India.
Yeah, like what?
Like a massive amount.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in India, certain areas maybe you'll never be a target of like Hindutva sort of mobs, and that can never happen.
Well, that's correct.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean it's a Muslim country. It just means you're not overrun with fascists.
I mean, it was created in the name of Islam, Muslims, I guess, and
It was created as a home, a place for Muslims,
yeah,
not as an Islamic country.
there's a debate about that. Yeah, there's a whole debate
You
about
understand?
that. Yeah,
I see it as this was a place.
the practical, its name is Islamic Republic, but then if you look at the laws, there's like common laws still being like the main
and what's
courts
happening,
are English
yeah,
law.
and history, just historically,
Yeah,
when it's come to the crunch,
yeah,
where have they sided?
yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, it's a country for Muslims.
Yeah.
But is it an Islamic country? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not, you cannot put it in the same categories like Turkey, for example, with all due respect. But like Turkey is a Muslim country also.
But Turkey is extremely secular.
Yeah, but yeah, so this is what I'm saying. You can't put it, if you're saying
Well,
just
it's
a
not
Muslim.
as secular as Turkey. That's
exactly. So
there is a separation.
Yeah.
I suppose in Turkey, it's a very clear separation of church and state.
yeah, I think in Pakistan over time, for example, at one point the army will not allow any officers because they really like doubled down on the British what do you call it, the British sort of military sort of code, in where they would not allow student like you had to shave your beard if you're in Pakistani army.
Pakistan.
Yeah. That was like that didn't change to like for half the history, or just recently, like I think 30, 40 years ago or something. It wasn't actually not 30 years, 40, even more recent than that. So I think overall the society in general, a large portion of society became more visibly religious. Then that permeated the armed forces probably as well. But the officer class who was senior, the senior like generals and so forth, a lot of them still are from the old guard.
Bro.
And they
how
are
rich they are.
and not just how rich they are, but also
crazy.
but also how much like, you know, so this incident has like brought up, like, in the eyes of Pakistanis, this is why propaganda is like you have to be very careful with, but the average person won't think like this in Pakistan. So they will see as we're Pakistanis, this is our armed forces, they brought respect to us.
That's my
This
point.
this is bigger than cricket, you know, like
That's correct. It's bigger than cricket, and it's against India. So
it's
we won.
and they've been primed through the education system to hate India.
Yep.
I remember that because as a school I did up to grade 3. Like you're made to memorize pilot names. There's a whole mythology.
But the same as in India.
Nation building, yeah, they have to do the mythology.
Yeah, but like here.
Yeah,
Ned
like here,
Kelly.
Anzac, Gallipoli, yeah, you know.
My first thought is Ned Kelly.
Simpson and his donkey, and like, you know,
Yeah.
we've been like
Burke and Wills.
So they've been primed for that. So of course, as soon as they're great, all the mythology is true. We are these great fighters, and we are these things, but it's still too early.
This is not a Pakistan-India thing.
Yeah, and guess what?
Just
The
by sheer
you know the
numbers.
pilot apparently is Christian. The main pilot that shot them. So
Just by sheer...
the takbirs are a little bit quieter.
So all the Hindutvas would just be like, see, if it was a Hindu, he wouldn't have been shot down.
Huh?
That's what Hindutvas would say.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but anyway, I heard he's Christian. But let me just check just to make sure. Maybe, I don't know, because there's so many lies and so many parodies that
Chaos.
huh?
It's chaos.
Yeah, like what's reality? Let me just check quickly. We got to wrap up anyway.
Yes, you do.
I got a
You gotta
class.
go to
Yeah,
the
I got 2
class.
classes after this. So
Both of us doing a podcast sitting on our phone.
no, we just got to check. Just make sure. Well, it's the taking care of minorities.
Who's taking care of minorities?
Huh?
Who's taking care of minorities?
Yeah, there you go. He was the first Christian Indian, first Pakistani Air Force officer to breach Indian Christian, who breached the. He struck one of the Air Force bases apparently. So
The guy that got shot down.
no, he's the one that breached and attacked inside India. So it's Pakistani
So
pilot.
the plane went inside, or he just went through?
No,
He
he
was
went
on the border
inside.
and he
Yeah,
just
he
shot
balked.
through.
Yeah. So, he penetrated Indian airspace. Anyway, so
That's pretty impressive.
huh? Yeah. So
That's actually impressive.
anyway, that's but
Just imagine being up there. Your
yeah,
whole life you've been primed for this,
yeah,
and now you're not over your own country.
yeah, enemy territory.
That's pretty full on.
Yeah.
Like, that takes big ones.
Huh?
That
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
big
yeah.
ones.
I mean, it's any fighter pilot that's a crazy profession, you know.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Dropping bombs from 5.
So, like the Pakistani the Republic, Islamic Republic, got defended by Christian. But anyway, let's. But we're in the middle of propaganda, right? So it's the media storm is crazy. The Twitter's crazy.
Yeah, but that's because imagine Fox News.
Yeah,
The way I see it is Fox News on steroids and meth.
yeah,
That's Indian media and
yeah,
speed.
yeah.
Like
It's-
the Indian and Pakistani.
yeah,
media.
it's
They're
nuts.
like
Breaking news,
subcontinent.
breaking
Yeah,
news. You know, it's
everything's
just constant. Getting a heart attack the whole day.
They're just all they're all just
Yeah.
off their heads, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
see it.
I can see a lot of Pakistanis absorbed in it because I can see their WhatsApp status, and
they're
so
getting
they're not
happy,
working.
but-
They're not working.
But you're getting excited and proud about nothing. It's literally nothing. It's just noise.
Well, they said that it's a lot of noise.
It's just noise, and you're getting that whole.
I don't think
excitement.
neither has the thing to go all out.
No, I would like
Because what happened was
I would like
apparently in Pakistan, like a lot of the generals, apparently kids left the country when it started.
Of course they did.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody's got apartment and whatever
Yeah,
they're having. They're in London.
that's
They're
right,
in US.
exactly.
So you know whether that's.
I think cooler.
But I don't know how true these things are because I'm getting all this information. There's like information overload.
Yeah, but
And,
look,
and,
it
and,
doesn't
and there's like
surprise me.
Europeans, like white people, putting up posts of things that are random. They said this is just to distract you from no. They said that this is to distract you from the post from all the Indian Pakistani posts because there's so much propaganda. There's so many
Yeah,
accounts.
but it doesn't surprise.
So you
me.
don't know what's true,
But
what's
it doesn't
false.
surprise me for all these kids went overseas because look at Nehayu's son. He's still overseas, I think.
Yeah.
They're just chilling. So
Yeah.
and the thing is, the sad part is in any war, the rich will get out
Yeah.
because they can afford to get out.
Yeah.
But you'd hope cooler heads will prevail. I think cooler heads will prevail in terms of the guys that got their hands on the button.
Yeah.
They're not going to put, unless you've got some full on fanatic that thinks, nothing's going to do anything. Let's just press it and just win.
Yeah.
But a nuclear fallout will affect the whole world, not just India,
Yeah.
Pakistan.
The escalation ladder, it was escalating and then it just stopped because Trump called, But I don't think they wanted. Is it like really they're going to escalate, or they just like that video of the dogs on the different side of the fence, and then they just slide the gate. They're like barking, look like they're going to rip each other apart, but then they open the gate and they just sort of like look at each other and just sort of like ignore each other.
Away. Yeah.
So maybe it's like a little bit like
I
that.
feel like that.
It's a lot of posturing and a lot of.
It's basically the Wagga border on steroids.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys.
Have you seen the way they walk?
Yeah. That whole
Like to
thing.
shut the
They
gate,
stopped
it's
that
just
in protest. So yeah, it's a silly activity. Yeah, I've been there. So it's
That's nothing.
huh?
Like, what are you achieving?
It's just expending energy for nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's posturing, right? You got it. So, but anyway, that's that, and we won't talk about Kanye West's "I Hitler" song, but anyway,
What?
we'll talk about it next
What if
week.
you just drop now? All right, that'll give me time to
Jazakallah
check it out.
khair. Assalamu
You can tell
alaikum.
my
No,
husband
you
when
shouldn't
say-
check it out. It's really bad. So
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
Thank you for
warahmatullahi
watching.
wabarakatuh.
Please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.
I've got to just switch it off from outside.
I'll keep everyone entertained while you switch it off. Mr. Kanye West. So, as we can see, Sheikh Khalid, Mufti Khalid, is now into Kanye West. And I don't know what song he's talking about. I've had my head in the sand, but we'll find out. And again, as always, pleasure to have you on board.